Parashat Mikeitz. First, I need to say thank you to Ari for the amazing chulant again, Chamin, and for Tuvia, aka Special Agent, for the unbelievable sushi, and to whoever got the kugel as well. It's ridiculous, wonderful. Oh, excuse me, Parashat Mikeitz. There's something that's going to happen to all of us, if not happen to all of us, at least once in your life, if not more. At least. You fall, you get hit, you get injured, get smacked, and after a while, after a little bit, you lift your head, try to assess what's going on, trying to lift yourself up together, pick up all the pieces, and maybe try to recover. That happens to all of us. And I can tell you this, the older you get, the stronger you fall. The harder it is to get up sometimes. However, in comparison, who is this, Arson? Hey, it's a dentist. In comparison, this deadly whack that Yosef got, it seems sometimes, if you sit down and just think about it a little bit, almost like an impossible situation to get up. It's such a terrible state of mind to be. I mean, he got really whacked. I mean, after all, not only we're not talking about strangers, we're talking about his own brothers. The closest people to him affected him in the most horrible way. His brothers hated him, and they were even willing to put him to death. Please, doctor, eat. It's all dentist free. We put fluoride all over the sushi. And at the end, they sold him, if we go with this trend of selling him, to servants, to slave drivers. If you watch the movie, what's the name of this movie? Gladiator. I'm Gladiator. Yes. For us in living in the 21st century, it seems like a Hollywoodian production, the whole issue of slavery. It was a horrible thing. Yes, slaves actually were the driving power behind most of the old world economy. However, it was a terrible, dark stain in human existence, how a person can enslave another person. It's just terrible. So it's very difficult for you to think about this. And that's why I'm saying to you, I'm giving somewhat of an example that maybe you could relate and think about. If you watch the movie Gladiator, he was Maximus, whatever he was, Gluteus Maximus, or whatever he was, and all of a sudden he became nothing, right? He became nothing. He became nothing. He became a piece of walking meat, an entertainer for death. So to go from there all the way down, it's a terrible thing, and the treatment that they received, it's just unbelievable. I don't know how Yosef did not kill himself, or threw everything behind him, like Munna in Akadosh Baruch Hu, and in the heritage. I just don't know how the guy did not throw it behind him. He says, just get me out of this. Even just for the sake of survival. It's terrible. I mean, it was a 17-year-old kid. 17-year-old kid to go through this. Some of you guys here, 17-year-old, you still have some milk on your upper lip. Think about this guy. After his mother, right? His mother passed away. He had some comfort in the closeness of his father, and all of a sudden he ripped him, and he goes, this life of humiliation and slavery, far from his home, and so on and so forth. And if we thought it's just going to be that, it goes to becoming worse and worse and worse and worse. And so this kid really had every possible reason to lose emunah, to say, you know what, I'm off the derech. Yalla, blame somebody, I'm off the derech. Right? My rabbi sneezed the wrong way, I got wet a little bit, okay, I'm off the derech, goodbye, shalom. It's ridiculous. Somebody doesn't get what he wants, comes lying, blames the rabbi, off the derech, that's it, shalom. It's unbelievable. This kid and all these things, he stays firm. He stays firm, stays loyal to what he believes in. He stays loyal to his emunah, and not only that. I mean, look. The first thing you do is throw away your God. Second, you throw away your family. Then after that, you become a very bitter person, frustrated person, a person who doesn't trust humans anymore, people anymore. At best, he has some fire. The only fire in him is the fire of revenge. He wants to revenge, becomes a bad, cruel person, somebody appropriate of long-term psychiatric evaluation. By the way, that's one way to avoid all these things, and we'll see how. However, Yosef, and we call him Yosef Tzaddik, grew up and turned up to be a completely different person. He climbs from the pit that he was in. The pit was not just the pit that he was put in, but rather in the state of mind that he was at. And it became a very, very amazing character in Jewish history and in world history, with tremendous of emunah and when the brothers realize this, and we said, well, we'll take revenge of them, give him something. And he doesn't. So let's evaluate, because this will happen to all of us. Of course, not like this, hopefully, but we're all going to go through a crisis. So if last week we were doing a little bit of coaching, I would like to continue with this a little bit this week as well for all of you psychology wannabe majors. Willoughby Wallaby. That's Uncle Moshe, right? Anyway, so how are we going to prevent this from us falling down and losing our emunah and going the blame game of everybody? Of course, whether it's right or not, whether this person, and that's something you have to understand altogether. If one person did something bad to you, that's not God's fault. So don't take it on the people, on the person. Don't take it out on God. Understand that that's the person. However, so therefore I'm going to become to hate him. Yosef didn't do that. But we use every excuse. You fail the test, you blame God. Right? Your business endeavor doesn't go. Somebody blamed me a while ago that he not blamed me, but told me he invested so much into his business. He tried to do the right thing. He tried to keep Shabbat. He tried to do the right thing. He tried to do this. He tried to do that. He tried to reduce the amount of Shomer Negiah he was. And then, I tried to do my best, and then God didn't help me, and now I'm off the derech. Hello, what's that? It's a very crazy interactions you have there with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Apparently, and I said to him, he said to me, I'm off the derech. I said to him, I don't think you ever were. If this is your attitude, I don't think you ever were. If you honestly, truthfully love your wife, and one day your wife, did something to get you upset, so let's say you give her a get, or your son, or your daughter, you disown them just like that. But so we're not talking about this. We're talking about something completely different. We're talking about how do we actually not only deal with it, but how we grow from this. Go far behind me. Good. All right. So let's look at stages. Stage number one let the time do its thing. What does it mean? So at the first moment after you got hit, life really looks dismal. Things look bad. It looks like life is over. Whatever hit was, your girlfriend dumped you, I don't know, whatever it is. Your mother was coming to visit, any of these things. It looks like life is over and there's no way to continue further. But time is a great healer. Time is a great healer. And it will make things easier. I'm not saying there's not going to be a scar. There's always going to be a scar. But it doesn't mean that you have to keep on picking it. Let time do its thing. It will heal you. If you are willing to take, for example, a deep breath, do Wim Hof or something, take a deep breath, relax a little bit, grind your teeth, toughen up. It will turn up to be that maybe after a week, or maybe after a month, or maybe after a year, things would look a little different. If you look at the process of mourning in Jewish tradition, you'll understand the different stages of grief. We have the first 3 days for crying, then the other days for mourning. So it's the 7 days. But the first 3 days are the most difficult days. The Gemara says they used to give him how many cups of wine? For a mourner who's sitting Shiva?
8. 14 at that.
10, 14, 8, depends how you count it. A lot. Then we have Shloshim, right? And Shloshim, you still have some, customs of Avlut. You don't cut your hair, you don't cut your nails, and so on and so forth, but it's less. You build a tombstone, you grow out of it, and then you have the year. From that point on, you're supposed to go. That's it. You can't cry in the same intensity. I know someone who his son died at the Yom Kippur War. He loved his son very much. And he basically cried himself first to blindness and basically cried himself to death. About a year and a half to 2 years after his son was killed in the war, he died. And he was a healthy man. He just died out of a broken heart. You have to understand regarding pain that it's a part of the process of healing. You need to accept the pain. Pain, if somebody, chas v'shalom, died in your life, you're never going to be a whole, a complete person again. It's going to be a part of you is going to be missing because the person died. But that part that comes from this pain, because it was ripped away from you, that's the part that you actually need to accept it. You need to accept the pain and fill it up with memories of that person. Because if you don't feel that something was ripped from you, from your heart, you're never going to remember the person, and then for sure is going to die. In your dream also, in your mind also. So that's why we say Kaddish all the time. So Yosef had 22 years until he was revealed again, and he met again with his brothers. And that did a lot to him. Did a lot to him and did a lot to them in terms of their relationship. They had 22 years to work out. Things don't seem so big, so terrible. I mean, and that's the problem with people who fight, Shlom Bayit. All these quasi-rabbis who give you Shlom Bayit, they never took a course in their life, became experts in Shlom Bayit. Sometimes they make more problems. But one of the things in Shlom Bayit is not to be so jumpy. So I say, okay, tomorrow we're going to the rabbi. Take some time. Relax. Think. Don't be jumpy. Watch what you're saying. Close your mouth a little bit. It's very important. Somebody insulted you. You have the tendency to attack right away. Take your time. There'll be a time, there'll be a place in which you can tell the person in a totally different way that he really offended you and you really feel hurt. However, you're over it. I'm just letting you know so you won't do it again. I'm over this already, but I'm just letting you know you won't do it again. So you see, time is a healer. Then you fell and you got hit. So what is there for you to do? You feel like you're immobile. What is there for you to do? The answer is to do. Be involved in some positive action. No asiyah, action. Asiyah, yeah, for you. And this is especially true as long if the person is not, sitting down and not feeling in the corner, miserable for himself. Yeah, we'll give you some time, but you expect to get up and start doing something. Get up and start doing something is very simple. Because when you get up and you take and you're acting, you are assuming responsibility to your life. So your project didn't work. Okay, so it didn't work. Fine, we'll try something else. You are taking responsibility for your life. Okay, so I went to school and I was going to medical school and I don't know, I fell after a year and a half and I don't know how much money I owe. All right, but it didn't work, so I failed. So what is there for me to do now? To sit in the corner and to cry about it? No, I'll find something. I'll pay my bills. I go, you know what? Gamzula tovat. Something good will come out of it. Something good will come out of it. You try, you change. By the way, there's no age that it's too late for you to change your career. If you know anything about career changing and career counseling, most people change their careers between the age of 40 to 60. Because when you're 20 to 40, you're too stupid to realize you're making a mistake.
Highest age of entrepreneurs.
Who haven't seen you in a million years? What are you doing? Some missile project with Korea? Sit down, eat something. Eat tochal mashu. Anyway, so you're taking responsibility over your life. You need to watch out. You need to make sure you're always busy. Sitting down and sitting idle and not doing anything is a recipe for disaster. Always make sure you are busy doing something. You need to be creative. You need to be with action, active and creative all the time. And Yosef is not allowing himself even one moment to sit down and to feel bad for himself. Oh, miskin, poor me, poor me, poor me. Yosef is taking an initiative to his life right away. Bang, I'm gonna do it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's difficult, but I need to take charge of my life. I have a free choice. I'm a free man. Because when you're sitting in the corner, you're going to be forced to do things that you don't want to do. So you take control over your life and you're doing things. It doesn't make a difference what you do. You don't know what to do. And that's what I said to you. And you saw it. You guys saw it many times. Somebody lost his job, right? Somebody lost his job. What does he do? Come to Yeshiva. Comes to Yeshiva, bang, finds a job. Right or wrong? How many times we've seen that? How many times we've seen it? And it's because you came, and so you come to Yeshiva, if you do something completely different, something will generate. Of course, the power of Torah is something else, but ultimately you're doing something. Never feel bad. And that happens to Yosef in the house of his Egyptian masters. And guess what? Because he's always doing and always active and always doing something, all of a sudden, from a slave, he becomes the master of the ringmaster over there. He's running the show. He's the foreman. He's the top dog over there. And how many people do you know that just want to get a job? They're like 25 years old. They're becoming, I don't know, let's say argument's sake, an accountant. All I want to do is to get a job from the first day that they go in and they put the card in, right, with the time, their big countdown is starting to retirement. I have 40 more or whatever days and so many hours to retirement. And this is how they live their life. They don't want to grow anywhere. They don't want to develop anything. They might want more money, but they have no ambition. To have no ambition is maybe the most unnatural state to be. Anything has an ambition. A blade of grass has an ambition to grow. Everything has an ambition. Only humans lose their ambition. When you lose your ambition, you lose your free choice. When you don't decide, others will decide for you. You need to understand that. Not everything has to be a life and death decision, but you need to be actively in control of your life. And they'll be making decisions. And for him also, when he's thrown in jail, oh my goodness, I'm in jail again, in the pit, in the jail. So instead of feeling bad for himself, he feels bad for others. Feels bad for others, and all of a sudden he sees those two ministers, the cabinet members of good old Pharaoh, says, guys, what's up, homie? Why your face is so down today? What's the matter? You're not feeling good? He feels the pain of other people. You see that by caring to others, you're actually helping yourself. Point number 3. Maybe it'll be very difficult for some of you to actually understand, or to accept, or to execute. Guys, you got to develop a spine. You got to develop a spine. That's what we are called human erectus. That's the reason, not other reasons. At every point in his life, Yosef is loyal to his values, as we spoke about it last week, whether it's honesty, modesty, hard work, caring. And I'm going to tell you this. Yosef did not say, but my self-esteem, I can't do that. So no, I can't do this. Sorry. Homie, don't do that. Yosef doesn't do things like this. I don't do it. I'm going to put you in jail. We'll put in jail. I don't care. I'm not doing this. Those things, I just don't do it. He doesn't fall for peer pressure. Oh, yeah, just take a little, what do you call this? A puff. Yeah, take a puff. No. So don't tell anybody. He said, no. Okay, fine. Finished. You made a decision to live life a certain way. Stay loyal to it. Develop a spine. These are my values. What are the difference between you and a horse when you have no values in your life, no virtues in your life? What are you good for? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely. For absolutely nothing. You're a Jew, you wear a kippah. Oh, Rabbi, I don't feel comfortable. How come the Syrians don't do it? Well, what do you care? When you next Gilgul comes a Syrian Jew, you do what you want. Right now you put a kippah on your head. Rabbi, but my wife doesn't like to put a head covering. She has to put shaitel. She wants to put pants. Because it's really, already I'm tired of these questions. Develop a spine. I'll ask you a question. What, you think it's so difficult for you? Why would you become as the Sikh? The word, the turbans on the head. Every color under the rainbow. You want to wear turbans? Huh? How about like the Muslims? Every time they go to the masjid over there, they wear pajamas, and flip-flops in the middle of the winter. You want to do that? Develop a spine. Gotta stand for what you know is right. It's very important. You don't do that, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. The rest of the body is suspended is all because of that. You can't stand on your own 2 feet if you don't have a spine. If your spine is broken, you're gone. You're finished. You're sitting in a wheelchair. You have no control over your body. You're finished. Develop a spine. So even when a person is in this downfall, understanding that holding to those places that are secure and absolute in your life. In other words, I don't hold on to this. Look at David HaMelech. When David HaMelech went to the bathhouse and he saw his naked of mitzvot, he was worried. So he looked at his Brit Milah. He knows it's there. It's a holy thing. There's a covenant between him and God. That doesn't necessarily only mean that. When a person not necessarily goes to the bathhouse, when you feel completely naked of anything, you are completely empty. There's nothing to hold on to. You need to hold on to whatever you know is there and always going to be there. So he looked as a Brit Milah. Hashem is always with me. What does the Brit Milah represent? The ultimate and ongoing covenant between you and God. So he's okay, Baruch Hashem, okay. So those things that I'm telling you, this is not chumrot, as some stupid ladies would say, or some radicalism some stupid men will say. These are the things you hold on to. Tzniut, modesty, right? Tzniut, Jewish values. When you have nothing, it's the only thing you can hold on. That's the only constant, the only core in which you could condense and revolve around. Because otherwise you're just like pigs in space. You're floating out in the great unknown. You need to circle something, create some gravitational force. These are the things. So if you're going to give up on them, hardship will come. And it would come. There's no way to avoid hardship in life. I can tell you that. גם כי ילך בגץ המוות לא ירא, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך. Your whip is what I lean on, because I know you're there. המה ינחמוני. My nachama comes when I'm walking in the valley of death. My comfort comes, כי אתה עמדי, because you are with me. מה זה אתה? Everything that we have. Mitzvot, tzitzit, this and that. You took a shower in the afternoon. It's already after sunset. Should you put the tzitzit on or not? No, should I put it? Of course you should put it on. Oh, Laila loves my tzitzit. I'm not doing this because of that. That's not something I hold on to. That's my shield. I'm not giving up on this. There's no such thing. Do you have Jewish values? Something I'm not going to give up on that. For me, Ya'areg v'bal ya'avor. Why is it important to have? For that. The same thing with couples. When there is something, some confrontation, some conflicts in the relationship, what are you going to hold on to? To your meshugas? No. You understand that you have to be mechabed her, right or wrong. You have to be mechabed her. She's the wife, and so on and so forth. And she's mechuyevet in your kavod, and you're mechuyevet. You go down to the values, to the core Jewish values of what family is all about, and you hold on to it. That helps you overcome the hurdle. I mean, because if not, what happens? You're going to cheat with somebody, and she's going to go cheat with somebody. Family falls apart. Modesty. Caring, whatever a Jew stands for. There's no such thing. Oh, you know what? I'll keep kosher in inside, and outside I eat only fish with tin foil. No, unless you're going to North Pole or to Antarctica. I think almost everywhere you can eat fruits and vegetables. So become vegan for a week or whatever you go to. Yeah, I mean, the world would fall apart if you're not going to eat meat or fish for a week or 10. I mean, give me a break. I haven't eaten meat in 2 years. I'm better looking than all of you ugly monkeys. It's in your head. It's in your head. So, and the same thing with Yosef. Yosef is an honest man. He has values he's not willing to give up. For him, that is the anchor. That's why he anchors himself, and that's his life raft. That's why he saves his soul now. And that what gives him a sensation of value and discipline. He's very disciplined. If you don't have discipline, you're not going to succeed in anything you do in life. This will give you discipline. Another point. Yosef has emunah. Emunah that everything that happens to him now is not a derivative of some cruel luck or bad karma that is coming his way. That is an absolutely non-Jewish concept. Is absolutely idle concept of the concept of karma. Every babulia is a babushka, every grandmother, every zaidi. Oh, it's bad karma. There's no bad karma. I have a munna. No such thing, bad luck. I have a munna. I know that everything that happens to me is directed and is guided mishamayim from heavens. And I know that even if it's difficult, I know Hashem is with me and anywhere I go. Hashem guides me and guards me and holds my hand and He gives me protection and He's the captain of my boat and He's going to bring it back to where it should be. Do I hear amen to that?
Amen.
All right. That emunah, that belief gives a man an ability to deal with difficulty and hardship. Munna. Even if you don't understand exactly what it means right now. Even if you don't understand. But Gamzu Letova, that's also good. I don't know why this is also good. Look, for example, I'll give you an example. Teva Pharmaceuticals, one of the biggest, at the time, maybe the biggest pharmaceutical company, generic pharmaceutical company in the world.
Israeli-based?
Israeli-based. Now they're in the dumps. So imagine a guy last year got fired from Teva. So right now he went, a year, he looked for a job, he finds a job in something, and he's making money, Baruch Hashem. Now Teva is firing 14,000 workers worldwide. So now there are going to be 14,000 people from your same company looking for a job. Now let me tell you this. Who is lucky here? The guy got fired then. At the time you didn't see it. I don't know, comes Governor, Mafuso Como, whatever his name is, right? Over there, over there. Make some tax for real estate people. Right? So maybe it's okay, good. Maybe it's time to move out of real estate. Let's go somewhere else. Let's open a horse ranch. Something. We have lack of things to do in the world. Why, that's your one-trick pony? You only know how to do other things. She's such a good salesman. I don't know. Whatever, open a store, make a bakery. I don't know what you do. There's a million things to do. Everybody has his own dream. I'm not going to start here dreaming for other people. The next point, to become a messenger. That emunah that we spoke about before brings about a tremendous understanding and a tremendous intellectual point. That almost a philosophical point, that every person has a specific job and purpose in this world. And the job is unique and designed for me. So right away it gives you a sensation of importance. I'm not a nothing. I'm a nothing. I'm good. No, you have a specific job. That you didn't find your purpose, that doesn't mean you don't have a purpose. You have it, you just didn't find it. Or you strayed away from your original purpose. Also go back home and go look for it.
How can a person be certain of what it is?
That's a different question. And that mission is a very unique mission. As I said to you many times, only you could fulfill. And if you are at a dark place, for whatever reason, apparently, what happens when you're in a dark place? Here, Rebs, do me a favor, turn the light off there 1 second. Now you're going to be in a dark place, right? What do we need to do? Turn on the light. So if you're in a dark place, it means that at that point, your job is to turn the light, because it's darkness. You're going to work in the dark, you're going to break your head, won't you? So if I'm in this place, okay, turn on the light. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for whatever reason, sends you to Let me see where it is. I don't know. Where would he send you? I don't know. Send you to some place in Texas. There's like 217 people there. Okay. Why I'm here? So, Valentine, Texas. That's right. I want to see who anybody will pick it up. Very good. At least somebody pays attention to what I say. So you're going to be in Valentine, Texas. What in the world are you going to do there? There's not even one store there. So guess what? What everybody needs? A dentist. So I'm going to be the dentist. I'm going to open their dentistry. I'll send you the video.
25 customers a day.
How many?
25.
25 customers a day.
Good. Most dentists don't get it in the city.
That's great. So there's a reason there. So I'm going to do that. You go to a place, you see what they don't have, you open it. What people need, you open it. You don't do like the fools. Oh, what's in the city? Oh, there's a very successful pizza place. Ooh, that makes a lot of money. Good. Let me do it. I'm going to open another one right next to it. Do competition. No, that's a fool. Open a smokehouse, like a barbecue place. They have pizza, barbecue. Always wanted to have a smokehouse and a garage, and there's a lot of things I wanted to do. What, a kosher smokehouse? It's a joke.
Yeah, it's not serious.
It's a joke. Now, so you come to a dark place, you need to turn off the light. So that's why he said to them. That's what Yosef told his brothers. "La atem shelachtem oti hena." You did not send me here. Ki Elokim, Hashem, sent me here. So Yosef tells this to his brothers, and he shares the tremendous point, or the enlightening point of his life, and that's called an enlightened person. That concept helped them throughout the darkness of his life. That was the beacon of light that helped them develop further and further, to move on in the path. That helped him to keep his head over the tsunami that comes his way, and not to get drawn down. And he understood that everything was a shlichut. I was a shaliach, I was a messenger. I'm a vehicle. I'm a vehicle for the Kedusha, I'm a chariot for the Kedusha, and I'm bringing the light of Hashem to whoever he needed. And Hashem chose me to do that. So I'm complaining? There's a reason why I'm here. I'm very honored that Hashem chose me out of all inhabitants of the world to come to this dark place and bring the light on. When you sit down in your sorrow and you become revengeful, says the Zohar, you become a chariot for the powers of impurity. Merkava l'tumah. So we can become merkava la'or, to the light. How? We become the messenger, the shaliach. We become the vehicle. We become the pipe. It brings the light that channels the wealth down. And Moshe and Yosef tells them, this is why, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew there's going to be hunger there, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu works in a mysterious way to bring you salvation. And that's what it was. It was to bring you salvation. This was all done to save you. And I was the messenger. And I'm very honored to be it. The last point. The last point is to grow from hardship. To develop, to grow from hardship. So in the perspective of time, many times you see an amazing point, amazing view, that specifically in the most difficult times, in the points of breaking, in the most difficult hardship, these are the moments in which define us and helped us become who we are. For example, you go to boot camp. It's hard. It's demanding. It's difficult. But it makes you tough. It keeps you straight. When you don't do that, you become perverted. A society that develops, that it's hard, expanding, they're working hard. It's not easy for them. They're always on the move. It's difficult. Growing pains, developing pains. but makes him into a fine society. When the wealth comes, and it becomes easy, we become like little piggies. So at the most difficult times, you should look at it as a boot camp for your character. So it's hard. Okay. Look at Rabbi Akiva and his wife. They were living in a barn, pulling straw from each other's hair. And what love they had. What dedication they had to one another. That she was willing to send them away for 24 years. She didn't see him for 24 years to go become Rabbi Akiva. Why? Because of the hardship. However, if she would have grown and taken Rabbi Akiva to the house of Kalba Savua in Jerusalem, the wealthiest man around, the Bill Gates of the time, I assure you that Rabbi Akiva would never become Rabbi Akiva. He was too busy eating sushi. Oh yeah, you can eat your sushi. It's a dick. It's okay. He'll be too much. There was nothing to refine him. When you take ore, iron ore, you smelt it, get a piece of metal, take it in, and you start heating it up, and you hammer it, and you heat it up, and you hammer it, and you heat it up, and you hammer it, and you hammer, and you hammer, and it breaks, and it's under tremendous pressure. Then you fold it, you heat it up again, hammer it, fold it, fold it, fold it. Start to stretch it. All of a sudden you see a rod, you heat it up. Difficult time, into cold water, extremes. The sword bends, the metal bends, and you get yourself a katana, a Japanese sword, a masterpiece. And it's tough, and it's beautiful, because of the treatment he had. So the harder you get, you should say, bring it on. When you imagine you go to the gym, you didn't lift weights for a long time. Comes to you, the trainer says, okay, marshmallows. Okay, marshmallows. All right, 3 pounds, please. Let's do 3 pounds. After a month, the guy says, okay, let's move to 5 pounds. No, I'm okay with 3 pounds. You're never going to get anywhere. You want more. You want 5 pounds. You want 10 pounds. You want I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do. Hard. You want more. You want to sweat. You want to have, and you get the cramps, and you're feeling good. You feel the rush of dopamines to your head. Your pain is good. You feel good from that. You become tough and you become strong. You, by the way, don't have to go to the gym. You can just chop wood and you'll be just as fine. Or do any kind of work like that. The harder the work, the tougher you are. You want to make your bones hard, hit your bone. Hit. The bone will become hardened. You do nothing, your bone becomes soft and they will break. So hardship comes your way, stronger you become. Example for that, Am Yisrael. Show me one more nation in the history of the world that had suffered continuously as one nation for so many years. Or maybe 3,000 years, if not more. I'm not talking about the time in the desert. I'm talking about the Babylonians and the Assyrians and the Plishtim and the this and the Romans and the Spanish and the Cossacks and the Germans and the Arabs and all the other choleras. This makes us tougher. And we need to understand that. Unfortunately, we don't have leaders, secular and religious, to actually take advantage of that and help us form ourselves into a deadly, beautiful weapon, into a solid entity, folds and folds and folds. You have to understand, so when the hardship comes your way, it will toughen you up. It will help you. That's your opportunity to define yourself, to show I can push it. You become better. If you sit down in the corner and surrender, you're a dead dog. You're a dead dog, man. It's no good. It's hard? Okay. I'll make it up. You'll push it. Push it. And You should know that the pleasurable times of your life, when you indulge in pleasure, don't contribute nothing to define you as a person, or contribute to you as a person, should I say. Just those difficulties. And Yosef, for example, chooses to call his first son, how does he call him? Menashe. Why does he call him Menashe? Ki nishani Elohim et kol amali ve'et kol bet avi. The Rav Hirsch explains that the word nishani means asali noshim. Noshe is a creditor. Noshe is a creditor. Somebody comes and takes from you. In other words, the creditors is people that I owe to. Nishani Elohim et kol amali ve'et kol bet avi. This is an amazing pasuk. The disaster and the catastrophe that happened to me and to my family, and that my family caused me, I don't hold a grudge against them. I owe them. It says, what looks to us as a abuse and bullying and whatever you want to call it, that helped me define me to become who I am today, a very successful person. And I am very happy and content today. And therefore, I owe that to them. Because if I was in my father's business, in the tents over there, and he would give me, and I would be the chief, you see, it didn't do me any good. On the contrary, it did harm to me. Hard work. So therefore, if you have a kid, and you want to give your kid, you want to do good to your kid, let him be on his own. Don't ever take him to your business. Send him to work for somebody else to see how difficult it is. Let him work hard, because he'll appreciate it. Because I'll tell you what, because if not, you bring him to the business, you make him boss without earning it, you know what's going to happen to you at the end? He's going to kick you out of it. The Torah, of course, does not come to entertain us here with all kind of legends and all kind of stories and fairy tales, which is... regardless of how fascinating they are, what we call the stories of Yosef. The story of Yosef, Rabotai, is the story of all of us. From his ability to deal and to pass through hardship, difficulties, very difficulties, in the pit and and then it became lemashbir. But Yosef ha-mashbir lechol haaretz. Mashbir he's the one who gives salvation to the whole entire land. This is the path, by the way, that each and every one of us can take and actually succeed at the most difficult times, or when you feel that you're falling free for all, and you're falling with your chute is actually, this is what defines you as a person. And that you take this, because in regular life you won't be able to do so. You'll be able to take those difficult moments and leverage it, and use a tremendous leverage power for your own growth, for your own success, and for your own development. Don't be afraid of anything. Shabbat Shalom and Chanukah Sameach.